Hey guys, one of the most powerful lines I've ever heard is Les Brown when he delivered in a speech at the Georgia Dome. You are the one. You are the one that's going to make your true happiness, fulfillment, peace, success, whatever form you want, happen. It's all up to you. And we have to look at ourselves as being the one. Because ultimately, as Stephen Covey said, we are all just a one. But we are one that's unique, that's individual. So we got to change the paradigm, the thoughts, the way we look at ourselves. We're not mediocre. There's nothing mediocre about you. We're not like everyone else. You have to start changing that thinking process in your mind if you're going to truly be happy and fulfilled in your life. You have to realize you're the one. You're the one that's going to make it happen. It's all up to you. It's not going to happen without you. Have a great day, everyone.
Rise and shine!
It's espresso time!
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and successful people don't wake up and go, wow, it's another day, I'm so happy. The difference is they have a morning routine that sets them up for success, like watching one of these videos. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and get ready for a shot of espresso from John Assaraf.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
The beautiful thing about the time that we're living in now is we can share knowledge and experiences, and anybody with a phone, an iPad or a smartphone or an Android or a computer, anywhere in the world, in the Kalahari Desert, in Antarctica, can get access and get inspired.
The best ideas in the world.
Yeah, to get the best ideas in the world, but to see that we're no different. None of us are different. The illusion is that we're different because we're comparing who we are compared to the person that we're listening to or learning from, and we're seeing the gap. And the gap is what causes us to be uncomfortable. But if we remember, we're all spiritual. We're all made from the exact same thing. If you think about the human body, it's made of hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, helium. There's elements. Well, we came from the furnaces of stars. You can't have carbon, okay, in the human body that didn't come from the inside of a star. Helium and hydrogen is what the Big Bang was initially made up of. And then as all the gases coalesced and created stars and then galaxies, we became, our flesh and blood and everything that we became, the organism, has come from the universal intelligence. That's why we're all connected. And that's why we all have the same abilities, different skills, different knowledge, but the same abilities to become all of the ideas, goals, and dreams that we have. And so we just have to say, that is what I want to trade my life for. And even though I don't know how, even though I may not feel totally comfortable or confident, or I'm lacking certainty, let's get on the path. And then we can change the world together.
Your path starts with figuring out your one word. I believe that everybody has a single most important core value. And when you figure that out, when you figure what that is, it gives you guidance, clarity, a direction for the rest of your life. If you feel like instead you're constantly being pulled in a million different directions, you're constantly trying to live up to other people's agendas and expectations for you, and you don't know what your path or clarity is, it's because you don't have your one word. And when you figure it out, it gives you that clarity that you're probably seeking for yourself. My one word is belief. I want to spread more belief in the world. I think it's the biggest problem that we face. I think whatever you think is the biggest problem in the world, it's solved by an entrepreneur who believes in herself to go and chase that down. And I wake up every day trying to solve that problem for people. It becomes your job to figure out what yours is. And I'm going to walk you through a couple exercises here in this video that will help you do that, to give you more clarity. Because once you figure it out, it's for life. I'm going to be believing in people for life. I found believe as my core value, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. And if anything, I'm just more believed than I used to be. And Evan at 100 years old will be even more believed than Evan right now. So it takes a little bit of time for some people, but it's one of the most valuable exercises that you can do as a human, because it's with you for the rest of your life. And this is what we need to be teaching. You know, where did you learn about what your most important core value is? How are you living your life without knowing what your most important core value is? Right? You're kind of bouncing from one idea to the next, and one person to the next, one relationship to the next, and never having that clarity because you're walking on quicksand. I'm going to give you the rock to stand on so that you have the confidence and courage to say no when it doesn't align. So that you have the confidence and courage to say yes when it's scary, but that needs to be the path forward. That's what finding your one word does for you. So, to find your one word, I want you to think about who were the people in your life that made a big impact on you. Think about your favorite teacher growing up. You've had tons of teachers. I've had tons of teachers, right? From grade school, elementary school, high school, university, jobs we may have had. You've had lots of teachers and trainers, but most of them you don't remember. Most of my teachers from high school, if I saw them here and walking by, you know, in the parking lot here, I wouldn't even recognize them, because they only taught you a subject. But you had that one teacher who spent some extra time with you, and you loved them because they made you a better person. They made you a better human. Who was that teacher? And why were they so important to you? Right? I want you to think about some key words that describe them. Next, think about your parents. What did you love about your parents? Maybe you don't love too much about your parents, but can you find one thing that you love about how they raised you or tried to raise you? Next, think about the people that you look up to, the heroes that you have for yourself, the books that you read, the videos that you love watching. What is it about them that make you better? When you're feeling low and down, but you turn on a video, maybe one of my videos. What is it? What is it about these videos that mean something to you, that make you come alive, that help you believe in yourself more? Like, what is it? Write down some keywords. And what you want to do then is look at what words are coming up consistently. And this is the most important part that people miss. You've had these people and moments and life experiences that have made you come alive, but they feel disconnected. I'm here to tell you they are not disconnected. Your job is to find the common thread between them, that becomes the guiding post for you going forward. So when people ask me, well, what does your favorite movie have to do with how your parents raised you, have to do with who your favorite teacher was, have to do with who your heroes are, and what YouTube channels you subscribe to and learn from? Everything. The fact that you're seeing them as random things that happen is the problem. There's just not enough self-awareness to actually ask the question to say, what do these things have in common? Because when you find the things that they have in common, it allows you now, it's not just some mental exercise going backwards, it allows you to design a better life going forwards. That these are all the things that made me happy, come alive, feel in flow, feel in purpose, feel happy, feel like I'm fulfilled, feel like I'm making a difference. These are all the things that did that for me. Here's the common element between them. And so now I'm going to design my life and my business to bring more of that into it. So let me give you an example. I was speaking at an event over the weekend, and I went through this process. And one of the woman's one word came back as kindness. Kindness. Now, first of all, I believe people are good at their core because I've done this exercise with thousands and thousands of people, and I've never had somebody's one word be something negative. I've never had somebody's one word come back and say, my most important core value is hatred or bigotry or discrimination or violence, right? I've never had somebody, never ever have I had somebody's one word be something negative. It's all positive. It's all aspiration. It's all speaking to who we want to be. Okay, so if we're all good at the core, why do we do bad things? I don't believe that there are bad people or toxic people, haters. I don't believe in that. I believe they're good people who are just in a lot of pain. And I believe that hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. Think about when you've been in pain. Think about when you've been hurt. Did you always show up as your best self? If I'm super frustrated in here at the Costco, I don't know if you can see, I'm at the Costco. If I'm super frustrated here and something went wrong and all these emails came in that were negative and people are firing me or whatever stress might come, maybe when my wife is going to be driving, but maybe if I was driving, I would cut somebody off, or I wouldn't let somebody come through. Am I a hater now? Am I a loser? Am I, if somebody's honking at me, like this guy, somebody's swearing at me. Am I a bad person? No, I'm frustrated. I'm in a lot of pain. So the people who might be throwing rocks at you, who might be hating on you, who might be leaving nasty comments on you, who might be telling you that you're not going to make it, they're not bad people. They're not haters. They're not toxic. They're not losers. They're just in a lot of pain. Having done this exercise with thousands of people, I can tell you, they're just in a lot of pain, which already eases the burden, it removes the sting. Because if somebody's in a lot of pain and then they insult you, the words don't hit as hard because what it does is flip you into a spot of feeling sorry for them instead of actually valuing their opinion on this thing. So anyway, I'm at this event. Woman's one word is kindness. Okay, great. Kindness. So what a great word. Another positive, powerful, amazing word. All the things in her life that made her come alive and feel great were because of kindness. Her favorite teacher, her parents, her favorite YouTube channels and books, etc. The common theme was still kindness. That's amazing. It now becomes practical because it allows her to build a life based off of kindness. Do you think she's going to be happy in a relationship where the person she's with isn't kind? And of course, we all love kindness. There's nobody who would say, I hate kindness, but it's especially important to her. Do you think if she's hiring somebody, she's going to build her business and she's hiring a video editor, she's hiring a copywriter, a researcher, or marketing manager, or whatever her business is going to be about, do you think she'd want to work with people who aren't kind? And of course, nobody wants to work with somebody who is an egomaniac and treats people like garbage, but extra kind. It matters to her so much more than it does to most people. And so what that does is it allows you to create a filter for the people who you want to attract into your life, for the people who you want to be surrounded by. Your relationships need to be based off kindness. She will come alive much more around people who are kind. So she needs to hire somebody for her team who can do the skills of the video editing or the market research or the programming, but also has the core value of kindness. It'll just work out so much better than if their core value is something else. I think finding your one word is one of the most important exercises you can ever do in your life. I think it should be taught to everybody. I think it should be taught to every human. Whether you want to be an entrepreneur or not, figuring out your core value gives you direction and clarity and purpose for life. For life. She will still care about kindness in 40 years. I will still care about belief in 100 years. I will. You will too. So if you feel like you're being pulled in a million different directions, if you feel like everybody's expectations are above you, if you feel like you can't keep up, it's hard to make decisions, you don't have clarity, you're standing in quicksand and you're drowning, there's hope. Breathe. Try to find a quiet space, go for a walk. You know, if it's raining outside, take an umbrella or just sit in your car. Bring a dog along with you to just have a little bit extra love. Think about, what do you stand for? What's your single most important core value? And when you find that, it gives you the direction that you need. It may mean you have to make some tough decisions. It may mean you have to let go of some people, let go of some habits that don't serve you, let go of some responsibilities that you're doing for other people but don't actually serve you anymore. It may mean some tough decisions. But now you have the clarity of direction and you have the strength to know why you're saying no or yes to something. Figure out your one word and let me know what it is. Now I've got some special bonus clips that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and just get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of actually following through on your goals. That is not good enough, Believe Nation. But when you create a specific plan of action for what you're going to do next and commit to other people, like leaving it in the comments below, that number jumps to 95% chance of you following through. So I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action. Put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
Ya yo sé que es el flow con el dúo dembow combinado con el bajo, eso te mueve a ti. Cuando te empieza a quebrar, por eso empieza a temblar. Tú lo sabes muy bien, eso te mueve a ti. Como lo sabes, así nadie te gana a ti. Cuando te empiezas a mover, nadie te para a ti. Todas las chicas quisieran bailar así. Cuando suena el dembow, tú mandas por aquí. Si lo bailas, lígalo por ti. Si te sacan a bailar, tú le dices sí. Tú lo mueves, sobre amén. De la cabeza a los pies, tú eres feliz. Si bailan así con el mismo sentir, con tanta candela no puedes subir. ¿A dónde está? Joven, no puedo dormir porque lo hacemos así. Todo el mundo diga
祭りだ祭りだ集まりな踊りなのみな軽いサビだここは宴だわびさび感じて雅な時間をたしなみな旗の色とか気にしない隔てるかは君次第打ち上げてみな喜びの花火ブラタタブラタタブラタタタタタタ刀は捨てたが心は武士吹き金光る楽器弾く勇気世界中揺らす音楽が俺らにとっての武器
Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Deep, long breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel that power of you controlling your breathing. That power that's available to you all the time, wherever you are in life. That power to reconnect to your greatest gift right now. Your presence, your being. Your infinitely intelligent being. The same stuff we're all made of. And with that stuff that we're made of, we can control the most powerful supercomputer in the universe. Your mind. But only you can do it. Only you can control your own mind. So let's do that right now, and let's see the future. Today, our time together, let's see ourselves doing the best we can on every single exercise and stretch. For this is not only the gym that we have available to us right now, in this space wherever we are, but it is also the gym of life, where we grow our minds all the time. Good morning, determination. How's everyone doing today? Another great day. Wherever we are, today for myself, I'm indoors. Maybe you yourself are indoors as well too. Wherever you are, let's go. Let's make this the best gym period we've ever had. It may not be exactly where we want to be. We may not be in school or at work where we really want to be, but wherever we are right now, let's do this to the best of our ability. Here we go, determination, here we go. When I say go, we're going to start jogging on the spot for 1 minute. Ready, and go. And as always, we're thinking about our breathing, focused on our breathing. Feeling that power of us always being able to control our breath. Even when our heart starts beating faster, whether it's through exercise, whether it's through something stressful, something maybe we might be afraid of or we don't like, we get to control our breathing. The same way we get to control our thoughts. And our thoughts affect our feelings. So if we can control our thoughts, we can control our feelings. Almost there, everyone, almost there. Keep going. Keep going, determination, keep going. And stop. All right. You can walk on the spot, or you can walk side to side as you recover your breathing. Always feeling that power of you controlling your breathing. This is the best. What we have right now, wherever you are, you've got your mind and your body in the gym of life. And you get to be your best right now on whatever stretches, exercises we're about to do together. Here we go. Here we go, determination. That's why I love gym. Gym is the best. Roll your mind in the gym of life. Here we go. Let's do 10 shoulder rolls forward. Ready, everyone? Here we go. The best 10 shoulder rolls forward ever. Still controlling our breathing. Shoulders all the way up and around as high as we can towards our ears. And backwards. Again, feel the power of you controlling your body right now. In these simple movements, simple motions, you get to control your body. The way you control your mind, same way. Alright, and let's do arm circles forward, everyone. Arm circles forward, 10 big ones forward. Feeling the joy of our arms moving through space. Alright, and backwards. Excellent. All right, everyone, let's put our hands on our hips, bend the knees, and side stretch. There we go. 5 on each side. All right, and let's twist our bodies. Here we go. Feet flat on the floor. 5 on each side. Really thinking about what we're doing. Really trying to feel every part of our body as it's moving in space. Alright, good. Okay, let's do 5 push-ups together. Here we go. 5 push-ups. Best 5 push-ups. Again, if you got to keep your knees on the ground, that's okay. Just do your best, always. And 5 sit-ups. Excellent. And standing up. 5 squats. Here we go. Body straight ahead, looking straight ahead. All the way down. All the way up. Alright. Let's do 3 lunges on each side. Here we go. Arms out. Still controlling our breathing. Alright, and let's do 10-second plank. Belly's knees off the ground. Again, feeling the joy of you pushing your body a little bit outside its comfort zone. Because you know that's where the growth is. Alright, everyone, and standing up. Reach for the ceiling on your toes. Or the sky if you're outdoors. Today I happen to be indoors. If you're outdoors, reach for that sky. If you're indoors, reaching for that ceiling. We may not touch it yet, or ever, but we're gonna reach, we're gonna strive. Just like we do in life, no matter what. Okay, now reach for your toes. Again, it's okay if you don't touch your toes, but keep your knees straight. Reaching for your toes. Feeling the pull on the back of your leg. Not the pain, just a little bit of a pull. All right, come on up and let's balance. Grab one leg, find that balance, bend the other knee. Well done, everyone. Keep going. Keep thinking about what you're doing right now. And switch. Again, feel the pull on the front of the thigh. Bend the other leg. Find that balance. If you lose it, just try to work hard to get it back and then hold it there. Excellent. All right, now let's hug our knee. Here we go, all the way up. And try to steady that other foot on the ground. Bend the knee if you have to, and pull all the way up. Hold it for 10. Always working hard to find that balance. Where we balance our thoughts, our mind, balance our bodies, wherever we are in space. All right, and switch. Just always think of safety too. Make sure you have enough space, clearance around you, in case you do lose your balance. Hold it there. Well done. Okay, good. And let's sit down, everybody. And reaching for our toes, straight knees again. Reaching is what matters. If you don't get to your toes, that's okay as long as you're reaching. Feeling the pull on the back of your legs. Not the pain, just a little bit of a pull. Okay, V shape with your legs. Now reach for the floor as far away from your body as you can. Hold it there for 10 seconds. Okay, now reach for one side and hold it there again. Always thinking about the moment, thinking about what we're doing right now. Experiencing the joy of being able to reach for something to help our bodies get better. And switch the other side. See, you can do this almost anytime, any place. You can work on your mind and your body wherever you go in life, in everything you do, not just in exercise and stretches. All right, here we go. And let's do feet together. Gently push your knees down with your elbows and hold it there for 10 seconds. If you feel your breathing going on autopilot or becoming automatic again, take control of that. Deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Good. One leg forward, one leg back. Keep the knee on the ground. Go as far back as you can. Hold it there. 10 seconds. And switch to the other side. Knee on the ground. Go as far back as you can. Always remembering that you are the boss of your mind, and your mind is the boss of your body. That makes you the big boss. You get to control yourself. You get to use your determination no matter what. All right. And let's roll onto our bellies and push the floor. Looking up at the ceiling. Cobra stretch. Here we go. Hold it for 10 seconds. Feeling that nice stretch in our lower back, neck, back of our arms. All right, and legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Taking deep, long breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And now, activating that third eye, that mind's eye that we all have. We can't see it, but we know it's there. So use your mind's eye right now to see yourself doing the best you can today when that music goes on whatever 2 exercises, stretches you've chosen to do. For me, today I'm going to be holding the push-up position for one song, the first song, and then I'm going to be holding the squat position for the second song, as long as I can. And if I happen to let go or not be able to hold it, I'm going to continue on until that song's over. What about you? You can put on your own 2 songs today, and you can do your own exercises. But think about which exercises you're going to do right now, safely within the space you have. You can do what I'm doing, you can listen to what I'm listening to, or you can choose your own. But whatever you do, determine right now, see in your mind what you will do when that music goes on. All right, determination, here I go, holding the push-up position, and let's go, whatever you're doing, whatever you've decided, let's see it, let's see your best, here we go together. Let's go, determination, let's go. Looking forward to being better than we were last time, a little bit more than last time. See if I can hold it for the whole song, let's see. Wasn't able to do it last time we did this together. Or the last time I did it on my own, but I'm going to work at it right now. Because I love the process of trying to get better at something. Whether it's building strength in my body, building strength in my mind, working on creating nothing but positive images, thoughts, visions in my mind, working on being the best human being I can be. What about you? What is it for you? Whatever it is, just enjoy the process of learning, growing together, whatever we're doing. And sometimes we're going to feel that discomfort. Like right now, I can already feel my muscles already uncomfortable. But then I can feel my determination saying, I get to determine whether I'm going to stop or keep going, no matter what. You too, let's go, determination, let's go. Alright. Didn't get through the whole song, but I'm gonna get right back at it again. Song's not over, you gotta keep going. There we go, shaking it up. Not being mad that we didn't get to where we want to be yet, but feeling happy that we get to go at it again. Here we go. Always thinking about our breathing. Always thinking about finishing strong, no matter what. Always going right to the end, finishing what we set out to do, no matter what. Got more in me. I know I got a little bit more. We gotta keep going. You too, whatever you're doing, keep going. Determination, keep going. Let's go. It's not over yet. The song's still playing. Focus on that breathing. Good air in. Bad air out. Here we go. Another round. I love it. I love the process of building our true great self through exercising our bodies and our minds together. Oh, that's the next song. All right. Time for some squats. Holding the squat position. What about you? What are you going to do next? Let's go, determination. Here we go. Ready? All right. If you're doing what I'm doing, just try to keep your feet flat on the floor, looking straight ahead, going as far down as you can, your bottom towards the ground, and holding it there. As long as you can, until that music's done. Because our music, you know the truth, our music's never done. Our energy, our determination is built to last, to get through anything. Let's go, determination, let's go. If you're sweating, that's good. Feel your body releasing some of that fluid, some of that old fluid, and water. Make sure you drink lots of water when we're done. Make sure you always fill your body with good food. All right. And here we are again. Back to where it all begins. Where it all begins and never ends. That source, that oneness, that consciousness, that awareness. That we know is in all of us. That power to determine, to control our minds. You see, nobody else, nothing else in this universe can do what you do every day. In the gym of life. Only you, human being, only you, infinitely intelligent being, can do the ultimate. Only you can control your mind, your thoughts, and therefore your feelings. But it takes a lot of hard work. It takes, first of all, believing that you can do it. If you don't believe in yourself, your mind health, your chance at mind wealth is not possible. But that's not the way it was meant to be. You were born to win. Control over your mind, your thoughts, to have and be all you were meant to be. And that means believing 100% in who you really are. And that is the key to your mind health and your mind wealth, your happiness, your freedom, your success, your infinite peace and love towards everything and anything. It's possible. It's all because of you, your determination, united with all of our determination, creates that oneness, that consciousness, determination. And that's why I love you, determination, wherever you are. I miss you, I miss being in your presence, but here today, we united. We enjoyed this process fully. And the way we do or did this is the same way we can do anything, including being the best for all those around us, wherever we are right now. So keep going, determination, keep working on controlling your mind. Because that's for all your health, mind health, your happiness, your freedom, all your love. It can never be taken away. I love you, everyone. Have a great week. Until the next time.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and like Bruce Lipton says,
I don't care how much knowledge is in your head. If that knowledge doesn't go into your subconscious, your life will stay exactly the same.
and that's why I create these videos to help burn some belief into your subconscious. Need motivation?
Watch Top 10 with Believe Nation.
I don't care how much knowledge is in your head. If that knowledge doesn't go into your subconscious, your life will stay exactly the same as it was. You can be the brightest, smartest academic. And I say, fine, did it change your life? And the answer is no. You have to take the knowledge that you are walking within your conscious mind and put that knowledge into your subconscious programming. And when you do that, you are all powerful in the creation of your own life. And so just walking around and being able to recite all these wonderful sayings and things that you hear from all the wonderful teachers that we have, and you say, oh yes, I remember that, that's a good quote, that's a nice quote, oh that's a wonderful saying. It's irrelevant until that saying becomes part of your program, because now you are living from the saying and not talking about the saying. And that was the total transformation of a life that on an academic level was successful, on a personal level, I don't even want to talk about that, but it changed everything. Why? Because instead of having to chase after life, after this understanding, things came to me. The light will bring it to you. The only thing that's in your way of the light is a block in your belief that other people have put into your programming. You take your knowledge that you have, make it your subconscious program, and you will manifest all of the wonderful spiritual wisdom that you have heard throughout your whole life. Is not words now, it is life and behavior, and that's our destination.
Rule number 2, review your use of energy.
Everything you do in your life, you put out energy for. Therefore, start to review what you're doing in your life. Because if you're putting your energy into things you cannot change in this world, that is exactly the same as writing a check and just throwing away your money to the outside because you get nothing back from it. So think about this very interesting reality, that you have this energy checkbook. And every time you use energy, you have to say, is the use of this energy going to enhance my life, or is it just wasted energy? Am I getting involved in a political argument with people where I'm going to use up all my energy and will I have changed the world? No. Am I going to use up all my energy to try to convince other people to change their life or change their way of living to make them even healthier, and they're not ready to do that? I'd be wasting my energy. So here's an interesting thought. If I gave you an energy checkbook and asked you to write a check every time you had to have a thought, you would have to then ask yourself, is this thought going to enhance my life, or is this thought going to take away from my life? And then when you start to realize that, you start to direct your actions where you put your energy into things that enhance your life and give you an opportunity to survive and to go beyond survival and really into thriving. So the point is this, we are facing some rough times. The more thoughts you put into the negative aspect, the more thoughts you put into the fear, not only are you just wasting your energy, but as in the biology belief, these negative thoughts, these negative stresses actually impair your immune system and bring on disease itself.
Rule number 3, be present.
What I'm about to show you is going to change your life forever. The demonstration that you're about to see was
the thinking is not that much in our control. The brain is operating, as I said, 95% from the subconscious.
But how did you actually then get results in a relatively short space of time?
Well, the first thing, how does the subconscious learn? And that's a very critical thing. The conscious mind can learn from reading a book. So the subconscious mind can read a self-help book, and you go, wow, that sounds really great. And then you find you read the book, but your life is still the same. And it turns out, why? And the answer is because the subconscious mind is more of a habit mind, things that you repeat over and over again.
Yes.
So the reality is, if you can stay conscious, be present, and when those negative thoughts come in our head, and psychologists tell us 70% of the time, the thoughts that are going through our head are negative and redundant, so the same negative thoughts are going through. If you could stop those thoughts, if you could hear them as they come through, like, oh, that's not going to work, or this will never happen, those kind of thoughts. If you can hear them and stop them consciously, say, no, change the belief right there, just give the more positive thing. As you repeat this more frequently and you keep repeating it, the subconscious mind begins to learn. So as a habit, if you stay conscious, and you have to work at it, and here's why people say, well, how come only 5% from conscious mind, 95% from subconscious? Because the conscious mind can think into the future and think into the past and solve problems. Then think about it yourself. Most of the time, you're thinking about something. Well, if you're thinking, you're using the conscious mind. Well, if you're using the conscious mind for thinking, then who's running the show? And the answer is, when you're not paying attention and you're thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow, your subconscious is running the show.
Rule number 4, change behavior.
Jesus told his followers, all the miracles that I can do, you can do them, but even better than I can, and you don't believe it. And that was the whole damn thing in a nutshell. If you don't believe it, you can't do it. And I say, well, where's belief come from? Mind. I say, and then what if you've been programmed you can't do it? And I say, then you'll never be able to do it. And this is the problem. And so we talked about way number 1. You want to change it? Hypnosis, because that's the original way things went in the first place. And that what you said was true. Even you just say, I feel amazing, I feel amazing. If you repeat that, the mind will all of a sudden change how you feel. That's how it does it, okay? So I say, number 1, self-hypnosis. Number 2, after age 7, you still learn how to do new things that become habits. Like, you didn't learn how to drive a car until later than 7. But once you know how to drive a car, remember the first day you got in, it was like, oh my God, looking out the windows, checking the mirror, watching the gauges, keeping your feet on the pedals just correctly, looking, paying all these attentions, like, and I say, today you've been driving for a while. You don't even think about that. You get in the car, you put the key in, and now what are you thinking about? Well, what am I going to do when I get to the store? You're not even thinking about driving. Why? It's a habit. Okay. I say, well, how'd you get that habit? Because you're older than 7. How'd you get it? I said, repetition. That's what makes a habit. Practice. You want to play an instrument? I'll hand you an instrument. Yeah, you didn't have any practice, then you're not going to be able to play it. And I say, oh, practice. I say, what is that? Repetition. That's the second way the subconscious learns. Repeating something over and over and over again, because that's called habituation, making a habit. And I love it. The new age today thing is fake it till you make it. I go, what the hell is that? I say, you're not happy. Yeah, most of us have trouble being happy. And I say, but what if every day, all day long, and you can remember, you say, I am happy. In spite of the fact that what the hell is going on, you just say, I am happy. I am happy. I am happy. I go, why? What's going on? I say, repetition. And there'll be a point where you'll repeat it to the degree that the subconscious, which learns by repetition, will put in, I am happy. I say, then what's the consequence? I say, what's the function of the mind? Take that program and manifest it. Now that it's in there, I am happy. I wake up one morning and guess what? I don't have to say I'm happy. It's automatic. I'm already happy all day long. Why? My program said that. 95% is coming from that. Habituation, repetition of the exact thing you want, not future vision, as if you have it now. We'll put it in a program. So that's first 7 years hypnosis. After 7 years, repetition, habituation is how you change it. A sticky note, people put that stuff on a mirror or someplace and they go, oh yeah, the little sticky note. And I go, that is not repetition. That's a suggestion. A repetition is a practice. You have to repeat things. You practice an instrument, you practice driving the car, you practice doing these things, and then it became real. Okay, so the first 2 things are hypnosis. Second thing is repetition. And thirdly, the most, effective is called energy psychology. And I go, What's energy psychology? I go, it's called super learning. I go, so what the hell is super learning? I go, maybe you've seen somebody read a book by picking up a book and just moving their finger down the page, just like that, just as fast as that. And guess what? The subconscious mind, the supercomputer that it is, has read every word just by moving your finger down that, has read every word on that page. And a person using this super learning technique can go into a bookstore, open up a book, and 5 minutes later, by thumbing through each page, turn the page, turn the page, turn the page, they can read a whole book in 5 minutes. That's super learning. I say, if you can engage that function, you can also use super learning to create new programs, not in days or weeks, but you can create a new program in minutes. It's like, I go, absolutely. And it's so important. Why? Because there's an old phrase that's really critical. It's called necessity is the mother of invention. And I say, what's happening? We're facing a mass extinction due to human behavior that is compromising the web of life. Humans are creating this through our behavior, our culture. I say, you want to survive this whole, extinction event? Well, then you have to create something different. You have to change behavior.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, know your identity.
I came to Thailand to learn yoga, but then discovered Yeshua.
I was a scientist, and as a scientist, we don't bring spirituality and mind into the story. It's all genes and cells and molecules and all that. And my research on stem cells revealed that while I was teaching in medical school that genes control life, my research revealed that it was the environment in which the cells lived that controlled the cells. It was outside information coming into the cells. And I remember how specifically in a moment of time that I was working on trying to understand the mechanics from a molecular point of view. How does an environmental signal control biology? And I was working not on the genes, I was working on the skin of the cell, the membrane. And it was so profound, it's hard for me to even describe it. I'm working on the understanding, how does information from the environment control biology? And I had looked at the membrane for years, and I wrote a new definition of the mechanism of the membrane. And I wrote this definition, and this is in 1985. It was about 2 a.m., and I wrote down the membrane is a liquid crystal semiconductor with gates and channels. When I wrote that down, there was a pause, and I said, I read something exactly like that. And right next to my first computer, Macintosh, was a book from a simple book of understanding your microprocessor. And I opened it up and I said somewhere, and I opened it right in the introduction. It said, a chip is a crystal semiconductor with gates and channels. And I thought, oh, what a coincidence. They have the same definition. And then in a couple of seconds, I started to say, wait a minute, one for one, the parts are exactly the same. I said, oh my God, the membrane is a computer chip. And on the surface of the cell are like keys, like on a typewriter. And I started to realize, oh my goodness, the environment is typing on the surface of the cell information that went into the cell and control the genetics and the behavior. And it was like, oh, this is real exciting. And I'm typing on my own computer, typing this information in. And then I realized I am outside of the computer, typing on the keyboard, and the information is coming up on the computer. And then I said, oh my God, This keyboard on the surface of your cells has a number of keys that represent a PIN number, a personal identification number, and no two of you have the same keys on that. Each of us have a different PIN number to get into our own cells. It's our personal identity, and these are the keys. And I realized, oh my God, well, we've been focusing on these, what are called receptors, as the source of identity. I realized, no, it's what's activating, what's typing is the identity. And then it hit me and said, oh my God, my identity is not in the cell. My identity is a signal coming from the environment, typing on the keyboard. And then I said, oh. And the first thing that hit me was, I can't die. I'm not even in here. And that instant of fear, which all of us have in our deepest bottom belief system, is a fear of our mortality. And when that moment of like, I can't die, not as a devotional belief, it had nothing to do with that, it was just a mechanism, I said, oh my God, I can't die. I'll tell you, the same thing happened with Savaji as me. Tears started rolling down my face, and this joy was an ache in my heart that I've never experienced before. I spent 40 years in my head. That's how I became an academician and a research scientist. And when this moment hit, it was my heart that blew open. I refer to it as a heart orgasm. And, and that was the first time I experienced my heart as an essential part of my own conscious existence. And what happened was, I was overwhelmed, first with the fact that I was not spiritual at 1:59 a.m., and at 2 a.m., I was 100% spiritual.
Rule number 6, stay conscious.
You have a very close friend. You know your friend's behavior. And you happen to know your friend's parent. And at some point you see that your friend shares the same behavior as their parent. So you casually volunteer, you go, you know, Bill, you're just like your dad. And that's when you have to back away from Bill, because Bill's the first guy that says, how can you compare me to my dad? And everyone laughs because they're familiar, but I say, no, there's two very profound points from that one story, and profound point number one. Everybody else can see that Bill behaves like his dad. He got his programming from his dad. It's only Bill who doesn't see it. Yeah. And profound point number two, we're all Bill, because all of us got programming, and all of us operate with these programs, and we don't even see we're doing it. That we, even when told we're doing it, will deny that we do these behaviors because we don't even see when we're doing it. That's why it's called subconscious, below conscious. When I first started talking about it, it was from an academic conscious point of view. This is what I learned, but my subconscious programs were still exactly the same. So while I had this wonderful knowledge, my life still wasn't anything I wanted to brag about it, because it wasn't. And as you know, that old game, well, who would you like to be? And I could think of anybody I'd rather be than me. And yet, when I started to apply the new science and rewrite the subconscious so it supported me rather than the programs of limitation or disempowerment that we get from our parents and our community as children, which almost all of us get. When I put in the new programs, all of a sudden I started to find, my goodness, my life completely turned around. All wonderful things started happening in my life. I was healthier. I haven't been to a doctor in 20 years. I don't need that. I don't take any of their drugs. Why? Because most of the illness is just from the stress of not living in harmony. And when you learn to get rid of the limiting programs that we got as children and put in programs that support you, guess what? Then all of a sudden, the place turns into heaven. And it's interesting, people, I tell people, well, you create your own life, and then they look around and go, oh, I don't want responsibility for this, but I say, well, you didn't know you were creating with these unconscious beliefs. And yet then I tell people, especially people that have fallen in love, and people have fallen head over heels in love, I say, go back to that time when you first fell in love. Let me ask you a question. Were you healthy? And oh yeah, I was healthy as anything. I said, did you have energy? I said, oh, I had so much energy, made love for days in a row without even eating. And I go, yeah, and I go, and how was life for you? It was so exciting. I couldn't wait for the next day. So I said, in this little period that that I refer to as a honeymoon, I say, wasn't life like heaven on earth? And they go, well, yeah. And I go, that was not an accident. That was an actual creation. And you say, but what was different that made life so heaven on earth during love? And the answer is, because you become very self-conscious of yourself. You don't rely on the habits. the day before you meet this person, you're going to go on a date. I say, especially to women, I say, how long did it take you to get dressed? And they say, well, it was 15 minutes and I was out of the house. And then I say, now, tonight, you're going to go on a date with this person who has just rocked your world. And I say, how long did it take you to get dressed? It's like, my God, it may take an hour or two. And I say, yesterday, 15 minutes, today, an hour or two. What's the difference? Yesterday, I got dressed by habit because I get dressed every day. Yeah. But tonight, I am looking in the mirror, meaning I am self-conscious. I am making sure that I represent myself to be the best individual I can be. And when both parties are not relying on the habit, and both of them are saying, I'm creating the best I can be, they're living in the moment of the now, they're being very mindful, they're being very present, and guess what? Heaven on earth is created.
Rule number 7, alter the anchor belief.
What I'm about to show you is going to change your life forever. The demonstration that you're about to see was.
Many people may think, well, hold on a second, so I can take 5 minutes and I can totally change my life and that's all I need. And I think
that's a really wonderful possibility, but the probability is this: are you going to hit the right statement? That is the one that you need to change your life. Okay, let's say someone's overweight, and they say in their mind, "I am, a number they like. I am 125 pounds, and you're not." And I say, so I want to change my weight, and I put a program in. I'm going to lose weight, and I go, well, wait, that extra poundage, that might be due to protection. I go, what do you mean? I say, if I, as a young person, was abused, then the consciousness is, if I'm a heavy person, they won't bother me anymore. And so the weight isn't due to just eating food. The weight was actually due to I'm safer being heavy than I am. I say, well, if you want to change your weight, you can talk about the weight all you want, but until you adjust the problem from the fear, that I'm going to be abused, that's where the problem came from. It didn't come from eating food over here. So I say, well, you can change beliefs. Sometimes I like to give a visual. As a matter of fact, I visualize a big spider web, which has like circles and then lines coming out, like a web, okay? And so there are links as you go around. There's also anchors where the web is anchored at a couple of places. And I go, each belief is like a link in that spider web. And you can do one link and another link and another link. That really change the spider web. But if you do a belief that is an anchor, and you change the anchor belief, and that anchor lets go, the web will collapse.
That's powerful.
So what's the point? And the point is this: sometimes a belief statement knocks out a link, but when you really hit it just right, you knock out a support. And when you knock out a major support, the whole web collapses instead of just a link at a time, which could take it down, but it's much harder that way.
Rule number 8, broadcast positivity.
In our mind, we start to realize that we're concerned, we're afraid, we don't have enough, I'm not safe, I'm not secure. And I say, oh, these thoughts, I was talking about the thoughts in your mind, go in and control your biology, your genetics, your physiology, and your health. And I go, yes, this is really true. I said, well, how can I tell you what your thoughts are in a sense that can I read your thoughts? And I say, yes, I could put wires on your head, and it's called electroencephalograph, and I could read your brain activity. And I go, oh, great, I can see this brain activity. I want to tell you something that's profoundly important. We were programmed to believe that our thoughts are contained in our head. That if I have a thought, it's just for me, not for anybody else inside, and it's working through me. And now I want to tell you about a new technology. It's not electroencephalograph, it's called magnetoencephalograph. I say, what's unique about that? I say, it reads your brain. I say, yeah, but so does EEG. I say, yeah, but EEG, you put the wires on the head, and you get the electrical activity conducted through the skin from the brain, and that's what I'm reading. And I say, what's different about MEG? The probe is out here. And I said, what does that mean? Your thoughts are not contained in your head. Your thoughts are broadcast to the field just like a radio broadcast. I said, well, what if I, as an individual, have a thought that says, let's have peace in the world? And I broadcast out there in the street and I say, let's have peace. And I look around, it's like, where's the peace? I don't see the peace. And here's what the relevance is. Each of us is broadcasting. If you get enough people to have the same thought, that broadcast is amplified. Each of us has a small power, but if you put 1,000 people with the same thought, 10,000, 100,000 people with the same thought, you are broadcasting a most powerful thought, not just in your body, but out in the field. I say your energy is in the field, the thought is in the field. And you go, well, what does that mean? And then I'll give you this most wonderful quote. I used it the other day in a lecture from Albert Einstein. And the quote is so important. Here's the quote. The field, so a definition, the field is the invisible energy. Right now you're in a field, there's cell phone broadcasts, television, radio broadcasts, all kinds of information coming across, but guess what? Each one of you is a broadcast in that field. The quote, the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. Particle is the material realm. So what was Einstein saying? It's the energy in the field that shapes the physical experience of our lives. And if enough of us collectively have an energy that's coherent and strong, and we broadcast the belief, we change the world. I just want you to recognize, as much as I wanted peace in the world, if not enough people are out there saying, let's have peace in the world, there is no peace. If I want to say, let's have a war, how can you have a war? You have to have enough people convinced that the war is going to benefit them so that their broadcasts say, yes, let's have a war because I and my colleagues, we're all going to have a better result from that. And the reality is this, the only things that change on this planet collectively are when we collectively share thoughts. And yoga, when you're in your postures, when you're in your process, your mind is sharing a thought, not just in your head, but all around you. So the whole idea about this is we have to recognize we are collectively creating reality with our thoughts. And if we want to change reality, it can change instantly. The moment we become coherent, the moment we collectively are on the same platform of thinking. You get enough people to say peace, there will be peace instantly in this world. But we've been programmed by other people to give them the power to tell us what we need. And as Sadhviji has been telling us so importantly, what we need is not what they tell us, what we need is what we know. And I really hope that you understand this, because when you have your thoughts, recognize it's not contained in your head, your thoughts out in the field. And that thought, the field, is the sole governing agency of matter. And therefore, what this world is looking for at this moment is an evolution. It's not an evolution of our biology. Our biology is already evolved. It's an evolution of our consciousness. When we collectively as a population say enough is enough, it will end.
Rule number 9, live in harmony.
I might say something unpopular here, but you have to stop delegating to your team. A lot of entrepreneurs.
We all have approximately 50 trillion cells in our body, and these cells are all self-sufficient. They have their own memory, they have their own immune system, and in fact, you also go on to say that for 2.75 billion years, there was only one-celled organisms alive on the planet.
Yeah. And the nature is, as the single cell evolved to be the most intelligent it could be, it ran into a physical limitation because intelligence is physically tied up with the membrane or skin of the cell. You can only have so much membrane. So evolution apparently stopped. It was like 2.5 billion years, just these single-cell organisms. Then it said, well, how can you have more evolution? The answer is cells decided to come together in community, because when cells come into community, they share awareness. So there's more awareness with 10 cells than there is with one cell. And there's more awareness with 1 million or 1 billion or 1 trillion. So when you look at a human being, while we see ourselves as single entities, the truth is we are made out of 50 trillion amoeba-like cells. And so our body is this giant community. And what makes it very exciting, as you mentioned, is, well, in my own work with cloning cells, I can take a cell out of your body and it could live outside of you. Why? It has its own intelligence. It has essentially every function in your body is present in a cell. So my 7-year-old vision manifests to be true when I got older, to realize cells are miniature people. And then you say, well, what about happens in the human body? And I go, this is where the issue comes in, is because you have 50 trillion cells living in community, but your mind is the government. When a government works in harmony with the people, then the people thrive and the community is in good health and grows. But when a government is not really supportive or not working in harmony with a community, then a government can cause the nature of that community to fall apart or even lead to the end of the community. Well, that's what we're finding out. Our mind is the government. And when we entertain harmony and the right living in balance with nature and with each other, then we provide our 50 trillion cells with very life-supporting information and chemistry.
So harmony means giving the body good food?
Yes.
Not being stressed out?
Absolutely.
Living in a happy environment?
Yes. Basically it says, as I said, when I had my petri dish of cells, if I put it from a healthy environment to a bad environment, the cells got sick. But you didn't have to give them drugs. But all you did is take the dish from the bad environment and put it in a good environment. And the joke, which I like to tell people, is, well, this happens in a plastic petri dish, but guess what? We are skin-covered petri dishes. Underneath our skin is 50 trillion cells living in a dish, and the culture medium is the blood. And so when I change the culture medium in a plastic dish, I change the fate of the cells. And I say, well, then what controls the culture medium? My blood, the chemistry. And the answer is, my thoughts influence my brain, and the brain releases chemistry that matches my thoughts. So when I'm in stress or I'm afraid of the world, I release different chemistry into the blood than if I open up my eyes and I find myself in love. I release completely different chemistry. And it's like, well, all I have to ask an individual is, how do you feel when you're in total love, or how do you feel when you're in fear? And the answer is, well, I feel totally different. And guess what? All the cells are bathed in that chemistry. And so the feeling of love produces totally different chemistry in the blood, chemistry that supports growth and healing of the body and supports the immune system. And in contrast, when we perceive reasons to be afraid and we release stress hormones into our body, we actually shut off the growth mechanisms and the immune system to save the energy. Why? Because if you believe you're going to have to run from that lion, you want all the energy available to run from a lion. So when a person is in stress, they allocate their energy reserves for fight or flight, but take it at the expense of the health of the system, the immune part of the system. And so the more stress you're under, the more bad chemistry, in a sense, of not supporting you that you experience. And it was a very important point. In our evolution, stress or fear was not the mainstay of life. The mainstay of life was to be happy and live in the harmony of the environment. Every now and then a saber-toothed tiger would come. Okay, now it's time to be stressed out. Now it's time to run. But the point is, once you escape from the saber-toothed tiger, in the old days, then it's like, oh, back to health and harmony. And I say, well, what about today's world? Today's world is 24/7 run from the tiger. And this is not biologically sustainable, because the chemistry of protection contrasts with the chemistry of growth.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is have fun.
Doc, you in here, Doc? Hello? Doc, yeah, it's Marty. Where are you? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be right there.
Introducing Baiju's Future School Code a Satellite program for kids ages.
Doc! Doc! Doc, where are you? Hey, Doc! Let me in, it's pouring rain out here. Just wait 2 more seconds! Huh? Oh! Marty, we gotta get back to the future! Doc, what happened to the DeLorean? Oh, I couldn't keep up with the payments during the pandemic, but hey, this is a good baby! All right.
Marty, we have to go back to the future right now.
Doc, the future seems very uncertain. I don't think we should be going to the future right now.
You're not thinking fourth dimensionally. Get in the car. I'll explain it to you when we get there.
All right. Whoa, Doc, where are we? When are we?
Marty, just look at the inboard monitor down there, and what you can see is we are in between time. We're moving from an old civilization, and we're moving through time into the future of a new civilization.
Wow, this looks pretty chaotic and random. Is that normal?
Well, actually, it's not random, and you're right, it is chaotic because chaotic has pattern even though you can't see it. And if you want to know what the pattern is, look. The old civilization is coming down, and as it's coming down, the pieces are forming a new civilization that is rising up, and we are now in the middle. So it's not random.
So this is all just a big illusion?
Well, it is an illusion because once you think the world is made out of matter and energy, that's a false understanding. But now quantum physics revealed there is no separation of matter and energy. Atoms, which make up matter, are energy. So everything is an illusion. Reality is an illusion, albeit a persistent one.
So you're telling me that the future changes depending on the field that we have intentions for?
Well, absolutely. The reason is this, because as the planet moves through the solar system and the universe, the energy surrounding this planet changes. That's the field. And when the field changes, the matter changes. So we are in a process of evolution, moving from an old structure into a new sustainable world. To understand what I'm talking about, Marty, look at the inboard monitor. There I can show you about the science called cymatics. That's the science of how vibration and energy and field shapes matter. As you can see how it works, you sprinkle particles on a metal plate, and then when you play a vibration and energy field through that plate, the vibration causes the particles to jump around and form a pattern. But when you change the vibration, the old pattern falls apart, and simultaneously a new pattern is emerging. This is exactly where we are today in planet Earth.
Wow, Doc, that is sick.
Sick, Marty? I don't know what you kids are talking about. Everything is sick. No, we're moving into the future where everything is health and harmony and love. Hold on, Marty.
I came to Thailand to learn yoga, but then discovered U.H.I.
Maybe we should start focusing on what we want.